Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations.
Hi, everyone. On this episode of Travel Talk, we are going to talk about spring break. Ours is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and we had to sit down with our kids. I have 3 kids that are preteens and teens, and we had a conversation about what did they want to do for spring break. And it was actually a really easy decision this year. They were all in. They all wanted to go to Universal. So on this episode of Travel Talk, I want to talk to you about why we chose Universal Studios for our family vacation for spring break. And if you don't have a spring break vacation plan, don't worry, because there's still time to book for a summer vacation or even fall break. But here's why we picked. And before I get into that, I do want to tell you that at the very end, I am going to share my #1 packing tip. If you are a first timer to Universal or you haven't been in a while, you are not going to want to miss our #1 packing tip for new travelers to Universal. And we're going to touch base on that at the end. So hang in there with us. So when I look at Universal Studios Orlando as a vacation option for our family, there was really 3 things that stood out that drew us to picking Universal Studios for our vacation choice. So #1 is the Express Unlimited. So Universal has this really great option for their tickets, and it is called the Express Pass Unlimited. And with this option, you can go into the Express Pass line on just about every ride at Universal. There are a few exceptions. Currently, one of those is the Velocicoaster, and another one is Hagrid's Magical Motorbike Adventure. But pretty much everything else, you can use your unlimited Express Pass on. That means every time you head to a ride, you scan your Express and you go into the Express line and off you go, and saves you a ton of time, which is a must to have over spring break. Or really, once you've used it, it's kind of like you have to have it every time. Kind of gets spoiled. So there's 2 ways to get the Express Pass with your vacation. So the first option, and this is what we're doing, you can stay at one of the 3 premier hotels that include the Unlimited Express Pass as part of your hotel stay. So those 3 options are either the Hard Rock Hotel, Portofino Bay, or Loews Royal Pacific. So although my favorite beds are at Portofino Bay, we are staying at Hard Rock this time, and for a couple reasons. For with the kids, and we're traveling with my mom as well, Hard Rock Hotel is the closest hotel to the parks. It's really just a few minute walk right outside of Universal Studios. So that just makes it really easy for us to go back and forth. And it also is on the water taxi system, as well as are the other 2 that I just mentioned. And so if we're going to Universal Studios, we can walk over there in about 3 minutes from Hard Rock Hotel. If we're going over to Islands of Adventure, it's probably a little bit more of a walk, maybe 7 to 10 minutes, but we can also jump on the water taxi that's right outside our hotel and then take that into City Walk and then walk the rest of the way over to Islands of Adventure. So that is one of the ways to get the Express Unlimited Pass, is by including one of those 3 hotels. And when you're in the parks, what you use for your Express Pass is actually your room key. So that will be your Unlimited Express ticket, so to speak. The second way to get it is to purchase it as an add-on to your ticket. So whether you're coming into Universal Studios for a day or 2 and you just have standalone tickets and you're staying someplace else, or you're staying at one of their other on-site properties or friendly neighbor properties, you can purchase the Unlimited Express Pass. The nice thing about that is it is flexible to the days that you purchase it. So you can purchase it for every day of your trip. You can purchase it for maybe 1 or 2 days. Maybe you're going to do one day. We're going to hit like those big rides and you're going to try to do as many things in one day. And so you're going to get the Unlimited Express Pass for that day. And then the other day, take it at a more leisurely pace. So you have options with the ticket if you do it a la carte separately. And keep in mind that Unlimited Express Pass that you get through your hotel or as an add-on is used at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, and it is not used at Volcano Bay. They have a separate Universal Express product that's used at Volcano Bay, and that is purchased at Volcano Bay. So not something that is included at this time with this package. But we just love Unlimited Express Pass. It really makes everything a breeze and super easy. And just to make things super easy for us when we're in the parks, we always have our lanyards. And so we have our room key on one side, and we have our ticket to the park on the other side. And so we can just scan our Express Pass, go right into the line, use it to get into our locker, go ahead and scan it on the next ride. And we always have it handy. And then once you go in, you can just tuck it into your shirt and you're ready to go. So we just love having lanyards at Universal, especially with the Unlimited Express Pass, because we're scanning those at every ride. So the second reason that we love Universal and chose it for our spring break this year is because it is small but mighty. So I don't want to make it sound like it's a small experience, because it is not. It is a super cool, super fun, lots to do experience, but it is very compact. So like I said, it's just a couple of minute walk from the Hard Rock Hotel to the Universal Studios entrance. You can walk through from Universal Studios to Islands of Adventure in a couple of minutes. When you're doing that, you're walking through City Walk. So you have lots of food and restaurants there. So, when you're at Universal Studios, it is so easy to go back and take a nap if you want to, go back for some pool time in the middle of the day. Going park to park is a must. So we always recommend park to park tickets, but because you can transfer between the parks so quickly and so easily, a park to park ticket is a must. And so we just love how quick it is to get around. So for example, if we want to be there for early park admission, which we get with our hotel, we want to be there an hour before the park opens for early park admission, which gives us access to the Harry Potter attractions. It depends which park has the early access that day. But if you're over at Islands of Adventure for early access, you also have access to the Velocicoaster. So that is something you definitely want to get in on. Well, if the park opens at 8 and early access is at 7, I could leave my hotel at 6:30 and be there in no time at all. So it really saves on that transportation and going back and forth. So we just love how compact it is, and do not mistake that for it being boring or small, because it's not really small. It's just super compact. If you need some ideas about how to spend your time at Universal in those couple of days, we have a really awesome 4-day itinerary. We'll put it in the show notes. It'll be linked into this blog post as well. But check that out. It is not the end-all itinerary. Every family is different, and we love to customize things to each and every family. But it is a starting point, something to look at if you're looking for some ideas for a 4-day itinerary to Universal. So the third reason that we picked Universal is really kind of obvious. It's Harry Potter. Do I need to explain that? Why do we love Harry Potter? Okay, so it's so cool. So just a little overview for people who might not know where Harry Potter is and how it works at Universal. It is called the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, a little bit of a tongue twister. And there are 2 sections. So the first and original section is in Islands of Adventure, and that's Hogsmeade. And there you'll find the brand new ride, which is Hagrid's Magical Motorbike Adventure. And let me tell you, if you're a really nice person, you'll let the person you're going with ride the motorbike and you'll take the sidecar. If you've listened to this podcast and you know that the motorbike is the best place to sit, then maybe you'll be like, hey, they're the same. I'll take the motorbike. You can take the sidecar. But that's up to you. But I will say that I do love the experience of the attraction riding on the motorbike. And I don't want to give anything away, but the ride is really unique and is super cool. So that is one of the really fun things at Islands of Adventure, as well as 2 other rides, Flight of the Hippogriff, which is a more mild roller coaster, and then also Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which one of the coolest things about that attraction is that when you go to the ride, in order to get to the ride, you're going to walk through a lot of Hogwarts Castle. So that's a really fun experience, even if somebody doesn't want to ride the ride, but other family members do. I would say that you should all go in the queue together, walk through and see all of the castle, the talking portraits, and all the different things from the movies that you're familiar with and the books. And then at the end, you can just go to the rider swap area and wait for your family to ride and come off and get you on the way out. So that's definitely an option for you if you want to experience the queue there. So that's at the Islands of Adventure side in Hogsmeade. Now you can board the Hogwarts Express, which is a super cool experience, and head over to Universal Studios, which is the other half of Harry Potter. At Universal Studios, you have Diagon Alley. And so in Diagon Alley, there's one main attraction there, which is Escape from Gringotts. But there's a lot of other things there to see as well. So there's a bank, of course, since it's Gringotts Bank. You can go to the bank and exchange your Muggle money for some wizarding money, which works out to be just like a gift card. So it can be kind of fun to take the kids there, let them exchange some of our Muggle money for maybe $10 each in some wizarding money, and then they can take that money and go over to Honeydukes and buy some candy, maybe some chocolate frogs or some Birdie Bots. I can't even say what they are, the jelly beans and things like that. So lots of those cool snacks that they remember from the movies and from the books. So that can be a fun way for them to go to the bank, exchange the money, and then go shopping at Honeydukes or one of the other shops in the Wizarding World. They're also in both sides of the parks is the Ollivanders, which is a really cool wand choosing experience. So as you go into Ollivanders, one person in the room will be chosen to try to find the right wand for them. It's a really fun experience. At the end, everyone will be shown into Ollivanders where you can purchase wands, both regular wands and magical wands. And that's just like another fun way to experience Harry Potter. And then if you do get one of the interactive wands, you can use it around both lands and both parks and make magic happen. So that's super fun. And then on the Universal Studios side, you'll find King's Cross Station. And that is what we all know is where not platform 9 3/4 is. And of course, when you enter into that area of the platform and go through the wall, you'll see, the signage for platform 9 3/4. You'll start to see the luggage and the carts for the luggage and the owls and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a really, really immersive experience. And I'll say that whether you're a huge Harry Potter fan, you've read all the books, seen all the movies, and you know everything there is to know, or if you really don't even know that much about it, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal is just such an immersive, well-done experience that you're going to have fun either way. There's also some really great food to try while you're there. So there's a leaky cauldron as well as a 3 broomsticks. They both serve similar food. You can hit either one. They do a breakfast that's a mixture of a few American items and then as well as more of an English breakfast. And then for lunch, it's kind of like English pub food. So you have bangers and mash, you have fish and chips, shepherd's pie, things like that. We also have some rotisserie chicken. You can check out the menu in the Universal app. But that's a kind of, a fun experience as well. And of course, there's a couple of great drinks to try. So you definitely have the pumpkin juice, the gilly water, but you also have butterbeer. And you have butterbeer cold, you have it frozen, you have it made into ice cream, and sometimes you can get it hot. So you can definitely take the whole collection, try them all, see which one is your favorite. But the butterbeer is really fun. And it's a great way to, again, feel and live the story that you've seen in the books and the movies. So there's great food there. There's great attractions. There's some really fun experiences like Ollivanders. You can go to the Owl Post and mail yourself a postcard. It'll get a special stamp. You can go to Honeydukes and shop for candies. If you get chocolate or other candies and you don't want to carry them around in the Florida sun, have them shipped to the front of the park and you can pick them up on your way out later as long as you have enough time, as long as it's early enough in the day. So that's an option if you get anything that's more fragile and heat sensitive. You can head to the bank and just explore all the different little shops and the little things to see and do there. So really a fun thing to do Harry Potter, and my kids love it. So that's the third reason why we're picking Universal Studios for our spring break this year. So as I promised, I want to have a tip for you. The number one tip of things that you need to know going to Universal, especially if it is your first time. So first, let me backtrack a little bit and explain to you how some of the rides work at Universal. And it's actually a good number of rides. A lot of the rides require you to put your items in a locker in order to get on the ride. Some of them even have you go through a metal detector. So really the only thing you're going to bring on the ride with you is your ticket, or if you're wearing a lanyard, which is another great reason to wear a lanyard, can come on the ride with you. So you can have that lanyard with you. But other than that, everything else is going to go in your locker. And everybody who has a park ticket, which is everyone, is entitled to getting a locker. So you don't have to get everything to fit in one locker, but you could, maybe get 1 or 2 or whatever you need. So when you approach the attraction, the first thing you're going to hit is the lockers. You're going to scan your park ticket. A locker is going to pop open for you. You're going to put your things in there, close the door, head off on the attraction. On your way back out, you're going to scan your ticket again, and your locker will pop open. You'll grab your stuff out and be on your way. And like I said, your park ticket is really that key that will open and pop open the lockers for you. But let me tell you about the lockers. And this is the thing that you need to know for your packing tip. The lockers are not very big. They're really quite small. About the size of the height of my hand is about how big they are. So you think about them as a slot. They're pretty deep, but they're not real tall. So consider what you're going to bring into the park. Okay. So consider bringing either a fanny pack for every person to have their own. You can slide a couple of those into a locker. You can do a cross carry bag. There's some really nice ones for women, but there's also really nice ones for men that are almost like a larger fanny pack that you can wear across your shoulders. A drawstring bag that's not real bulky is a good option as well. Something that you can kind of shimmy out to flat. So just keep that in mind when you're packing and how you're going to plan your park bag. There are some larger lockers that cost a couple of bucks a piece. So if you have something that you must have, that's, something that you would need to do. But you want to just keep that in mind if you can avoid that if possible. So when you're packing, pack a small bag so that you can easily get your stuff in a locker and you won't be in the park going, oh no, what am I going to do with all this stuff on every attraction that I can't bring it on? So that's my packing tip. That's why we're going to Universal Studios Orlando for our spring break. And if you've already had spring break or you have something coming up, whether it's fall break, summer vacation, we have lots of great tips and information for planning your Universal vacation. And if you're heading there soon, we hope you have a great time. And thanks for listening to our podcast.